In the heart of the Navajo Nation, not far from the Four Corners, millions of hemp plants are growing, many of them ready to be harvested. It's the first time this kind of plant is being grown on such a massive scale on the Navajo Nation. It's happening right now in Shiprock, New Mexico, all under the watchful eye of Dene Benally. He says hemp will help in providing the Navajo community with a natural alternative in health and wellness products.
Doing this project, I really got to know what our people are really made of. You know, what type of skill set, what kind of issues we're dealing with: alcoholism, methamphetamines, opiates abuse, and I've got to experience and seen through a lot of the workers we've had on our farms.
For Harlan Joe, who's dealt with substance abuse, he says he's found a second chance at life on the farm where he manages workers harvesting.
I used to be an alcoholic too. Used to be on the streets, drink around Shiprock, and when Dene told me to take over, changed my life, you know.
This hemp will eventually become the main ingredient in Navajo Gold, the CBD company Benally started in early October. Hemp plants like these are turned into lotions, oils, and even edible gummy bears.
It doesn't have to be smokable.
Navajo Gold employee Anthony Lee calls himself a plant health advocate and says the Navajo Nation is an ideal place for the production of this crop.
Making hemp accessible for this community has a lot of benefits. We have land and we have water. For instance, we only use about 20% of the farmlands located along the San Juan River.
According to Benally, there's about 300 plus acres here. That's about 6,000 to 8,000 plants that he hopes to turn into products for his wellness center. And those 6,000 to 8,000 plants are just per 1 acre of land, meaning that Benally and his farmers are growing anywhere from 1.8 million to 2.4 million plants on tribal land. But as these plants have grown, so have the legal questions, which is why the USDA is finally stepping in, implementing interim regulations on hemp being grown on tribal lands.
We have our teams operating with all hands on deck to develop a regulatory framework that meets congressional intent while seeking to provide a fair, consistent, and science-based process for states, tribes, and individual producers who want to participate in this program.
In order for the provisional rule to go into effect, USDA Undersecretary Greg Eibach says it must first be published in the Federal Register.
We have been told by the Federal Register that will happen on October 31st. It includes, as the Secretary acknowledged, a public comment period that will allow USDA to seek input on the rule as it is enacted.
These provisional regulations will impact farmers like Benally, who possibly may now have to reevaluate their planting and harvesting process in order to meet USDA requirements. Some of these include maintaining relevant producer and land information, accurate and effective sampling testing, implementing a plan for disposal and inspection procedures, submitting proper collection information, complying with enforcement procedures, and certification proving the state and/or tribe has the proper personnel and resources needed. Up until now, Benally and Navajo leadership have not seen eye to eye on all aspects of hemp harvesting on the nation. Navajo President Jonathan Nez says any company intending to produce hemp on tribal land not only will now have to follow the new USDA regulations, it also needs approval by the Navajo Nation.
In recent years, under the Farm Bill, the federal government delegated that to Indian tribes throughout the country. And Indian tribes, once they get the regulations, the policies develop, then they can, in turn, proceed in that type of endeavor.
Benally, however, says it's not up to the Navajo Nation to decide who can grow hemp and who can't.
We have a treaty of 1868, and that treaty identified and indicated, and when they provided properties to the Navajo person, it was to the Navajo Indian, the Native American Indian. It was not to the Navajo Nation. There was no Navajo Nation. That's where it's gotten so confusing over the years.
Benally says his company is providing job opportunities for nearly 100 employees in a community dealing with high unemployment. One of those is Delbert Etzity,
cutting off the leaves, just getting the buds.
Who's been working with the company for 7 months.
We proved them wrong. We're actually standing here and doing this right here just because we believe in something that couldn't be done.
As a leader of the Navajo, for the farmers, I'm not going to be in a position where we're going to start arguing with each other. We have to work together. That's all I realized, to get this going and take it to the next level.